What's going on YouTube? So most nameplates never even get close to surviving for 40 years. Yet the Ford F-150 has been on top for that long. That's why it's always a huge deal when a new generation comes out. And that's what we're standing next to right now. But with increasingly stiff competition, especially from the Ram 1500, does this F-150 have what it takes to stay on top? Let's go ahead and find out. So first, walking up to this 14th generation F-150, it doesn't look radically different. This is certainly more of an evolutionary approach from Ford, but that's really not a bad thing. I always thought the F-150 was certainly a very handsome looking truck. Now up in the front, Ford says there are 11 different front designs. I'm not going to talk about all of those, but here with this XLT trim level, you're going to have 3 different options. So what you'll start out with is basically a chrome trim surrounding this fascia. If you choose the chrome appearance package, that's going to add chrome trim to the middle. And then if you choose this model, which has the sport appearance package, that's going to delete the chrome off the grille and also change the lower bumper to body color. Now coming over here to your headlights, these of course are new for the 2021. Standard on the XLT will be halogen headlights. However, on this 302A package, we have the LED reflector headlights, and they come with the cool new signature element for this new generation, which is the daytime running light that comes down like this, and then comes down to the lower area, making a full bracket shape. That's probably the most distinct element of the new design. And then you also notice LED fog lights as well. So of course, as you know, the F-150 is extremely customizable. So just on the XLT trim level, you have 7 different wheel options. You start out with 17-inch alloys, and then you've got 6 different 18 and 20-inch options. These are the 18-inch contrast alloys, which come in the sport appearance package. Now moving on up here, we've got our XLT branding. And then coming to the mirrors, Ford does nicely include standard blind spot monitoring on all the F-150s this year. We do have heating as part of the 301A package, and then when you go up to the 302A package, that throws in the LED turn signal and the spotlight abilities. One of the things I want to mention is the new zone lighting system that the F-150 has. So inside of the cabin, you can turn on and off different zones of lighting, so your front and both sides as well as the back.
Now the F-150 is all about offering you any configuration that you would like, and going along with that, this XLT trim is available in all 3 different cab configurations as well as all 3 different bed configurations to really maximize whatever need you have for the F-150. Now walking around to the rear design itself, just like the front, this is more of an evolutionary design change than a revolutionary one. It's pretty similar to what the outgoing model looks like. However, they have enhanced it in a few different ways. So looking at these taillights, these are slightly different, and they are going to be partially LED. The reverse light is LED, however, the rest of it is going to be an incandescent bulb. And then dropping down the bumper, as you can see here, we have the body color one. That's because we have the sport model. It can also be chrome if you go for the chrome appearance group. And then we have an exhaust pipe on the right side. Now walking up to the bed itself, in order to open it, all you have to do is locate the button right here, or you can also use the key fob to remote release it. And I do want to point out, although this one does not have it, new for 2021 is that you can have a fully power tailgate on that higher end F-150 model. And then looking in the bed itself, you are going to have a 5.5 foot bed on this specific model, and there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with this all new model. Of course, you do have tie downs on the sides as well as LED lighting and a power outlet on the left side. However, speaking of that power outlet, one of the coolest things about this all new F-150 is that you can actually opt for a high voltage outlet in the back that can basically run anything that you would like a power tool or whatnot, to really make sure this F-150 can be used for any type of work situation. And then talking about the towing for the all new F-150, there is a lot of different tow ratings. It ranges anywhere from 5,000 to 14,000 pounds for this XLT model. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, the F-150 has also improved on this a lot. Since your Copilot 360 package is standard on all of the models, that's going to include forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, as well as lane keeping assist and auto high beam headlamps. Furthermore, you can also get the Copilot 360 Assist package, which will give you adaptive cruise control with stop and go and evasive steering assist. And then there's also going to be an active drive assist system, which will allow for hands-free driving, available in Q3 of 2021. Well, anyway, guys, it's quite cold out here, so I'm excited to hop on the inside and check out that all-new interior where I'm sure Ford has done a lot of innovation. And then we'll take it out on a test drive. But before we do all of that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because it really helps us out.
So on the XLT F-150, you have a standard keyless entry system. However, smart entry as well as remote start are available as an option. And then to get inside the truck itself, just grab behind the handle since there is a sensor. Take a look at this all-new cabin. As you can see, it is not like an extremely radical redesign from the design of the outgoing generation. However, basically every single detail inside of here is totally different. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the different interior, color, and material options. So the XLT is going to come standard with cloth seating. That's actually going to be your only option, though you do have the choice between black or tan colors. And then as you can see on this specific example, we have the optional bucket seats. However, there is a bench seat that is standard equipment. Now turning over here to your door trim, it is very nicely finished even on this lower end model. So we have a leatherette trim across the armrest, which is nicely padded. And the top part here is covered in this kind of rubberized texture with stitching. And again, this is padded to rest your arm on. Over here, we have a really interesting piece of trim. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but it's got looks like a cityscape layout in here. I would assume this is Detroit. And then as far as our windows, they're one-touch auto up and down for the driver and passenger. Heading over here to your seats, the XLT comes standard with a manual seat, 8-way power on 301A, and this is your 10-way power seat with lumbar on the 302A. And then, like I was already mentioning, we do have the standard cloth seats. However, they are very nice, nice soft texture to them. You do have different types of designs as well as color contrast stitching. And getting inside is nice and easy thanks to these running boards as well as the driver's side assist grip. Now it pretty much goes without saying that the interior of this F-150 does vary quite a bit depending on the different trim level, but I am happy to report that the materials have been upgraded no matter which trim you choose. So on your upper dash of this XLT, this is all going to be hard touch. However, I do like what Ford has done here. They've added a kind of texture to this so that it does not look like it's hard touch and it feels more interesting. Down below here, we have another textured piece of trim here, which looks very nice. We have some gray trim that runs through the middle part as well as down here on the lower areas. And everything in here does fit together extremely well. There's no panel gaps and it feels very, very solid. Now on this F-150, just put your foot on the brake and press the button to start. So once the vehicle starts up, you will be greeted by this gauge cluster on most of the XLT F-150s, the 801A and above. This is an 8-inch display right here in the middle, and of course you have two analog gauges on the outside edge, very similar to what was offered in the outgoing generation. However, if you want the full digital setup, that will be available on higher end trim levels. Now coming back to the steering wheel, we do have a new design on board. Kind of has a squared off look to it, and it will be leather wrapped on the 801A and above. As far as the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping, and heating will not be available on the XLT. However, I do want to point out that The power adjusting pedals, those are optional on the XLT for just $170. And that's something that the Silverado does not have on any trim level. Okay, so now let's move into one of the most important areas of this truck, and that's going to be interior storage. So buckle up, this is going to take a little while to go through all of this. So underneath here, you start out with a little shelf. You can toss that off to the side, and you'll notice a absolutely gigantic storage bin, just like the outgoing generation. It's huge. You do have a felt lining down at the bottom. You also have 2 USB ports as well. And honestly, I really should have brought something bigger, because this thick stack of coupons is just a joke compared to this storage. You could fit at least 1,000 of them in there, I'm pretty sure. Now up in front of that, we've got 2 cup holders. We have a little slit right here. We've got another really large storage bin, again with a felt lining, and 2 more USB ports. You have some storage along the side here. You have tons of storage over here in the door trims, 2 different layers of it. And you even have some storage up here on the top. So there is, needless to say, a ton of storage, as you pretty much expect for a full-size truck. Now I want to look back down over here, because you're probably noticing at this point we have the flat shifter that folds away. That's because Ford offers a work surface. We don't have it on this specific example, but it would basically fold out and make a flat desk right in this area. That's why the shifter folds away. Now, as far as the shifter itself, on the XLT trim level, some of the models will come with a column mounted shifter. Some will come with this shifter, depends on the engine choice. But all you have to do to get this up is just press this little button, and then it folds right out. So that's definitely pretty cool. Now, of course, the operation of the shifter itself is just the same as any other model. So you're just going to pull back for drive. You can press the M here if you want to do some manual shifting with these little toggles. And then heading into reverse, you'll have a standard backup camera with rear parking sensors. However, here with this model, we've got the optional 360-degree camera package. So obviously that throws in the 360 camera. This has a really nice resolution, I will say. Very crystal clear. We have active trajectory as well, and you can change the angles. Now for park, just push up to the front. Now off to this side, you'll notice a few more functions. This is our 4-wheel drive controls, of course. This will be our trailer brake controller. And then we also have the optional trailer backup assist, which operates the same way as in previous F-150s, where you just turn this knob in the direction that you want the trailer to go in, and the vehicle will take care of the steering for you. Off on the other side, we have a 12-volt outlet as well as a household outlet. Alright, so heading over here to the middle area. The XLT will come standard with manual climate control, but once you choose the 301A package, that will throw in this dual zone automatic setup. Really a big fan of these climate controls. You do have physical buttons for all of the stuff, including your fan speeds, and these knobs feel very high quality. And you will also notice that we have 3-stage heated seats. Those are on the 302A package. And then right above that, we have our volume knobs. So there are several different audio systems available. We've got the standard option. However, the XLT can get a 640 watt 8-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. But let's go ahead and sample the standard version. I have to say, the sound quality of this bass system is not bad at all. Definitely fills up the cabin pretty well. But now let's go ahead and check out what is got to be the biggest change for this new generation, and that is this gigantic 12-inch display. So this is certainly a very impressive display to look at, but it's not just larger. It is running the brand new version of Sync, the Sync 4 system, which is twice as powerful as the previous version. It does have slightly different graphics and stuff, but really the main changes are behind the scenes. Now, as far as the feature set, you do have several things on board. worth mentioning. The first thing I want to mention, since you can see I have the Android Auto system up, is that this is a wireless Android Auto system as well as wireless Apple CarPlay. That is standard equipment. Over here on the side, you notice we have split screen abilities. So you have two different things up simultaneously. This is our built-in navigation system. It does come with the large display, and as you can see, extremely responsive. The other thing I want to mention is the other size of display. The XLT will come standard with an 8-inch display. That's actually the smallest screen size available on this new F-150, so that's certainly a vast improvement from the previous 4.2-inch base display. Now moving on from that, we do have an auto dimming mirror. Does not have home converse remotes in it though. And then up top, you'll see we have the optional power rear window. However, we do not have a moonroof on this specific example. You can add a panoramic sunroof if you want for $1,500.
Alrighty, now sitting in the F-150's rear seat, of course we have the full 4-door crew cab version, and there is a lot of space back here, as you would expect with an F-150. Now, as far as your legroom figures are concerned for this model, it's going to be rated at 43 inches of rear legroom and 40 inches of rear headroom, which is right on par with that of the Chevy Silverado. However, it is a little bit less than the Ram 1500. And as far as behind rear seating position, y'all don't even need me to tell you, I probably have 1.5 feet of space between my knees and the seat back, and my feet, if they can slide up underneath the seat, have plenty of space. Now, as far as the feature set, you are going to get quite a bit. If you go for the front bucket seats, you'll get the center console area with 2 cup holders on the top, nice chrome trim. We're also going to have standard vents, which I think is quite nice, and a 12-volt power outlet. Dropping further below that, we have a USB Type-C as well as a smart charging USB, and then we also have a household style outlet, so a lot of connections back here. However, on this XLT, you're not going to have the option for heated rear seats. Now here on this XLT, we do have a 10-way power adjusting seat, which I think is quite nice. Then in front of the passenger, we have this little hidden storage compartment here that we could throw a few coupons in there. Then dropping down here for your glove box, you'll notice it is very wide. However, it's not very tall, and it's also not very deep. I kind of expected a little bit more out of a big truck like this, but it definitely can fit some coupons in there. And then up top, if we look at the sun visor, it is absolutely massive, and we also have a mirror inside, however no lighting, and we can also detach it as well as extend.
And just like that, we are up to 60 miles an hour. So as you can probably tell, we definitely have a powerful engine on board, and that's because we have the second most powerful option with this new F-150, and that's going to be the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 EcoBoost. It's making 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque.
It's a lot.
Definitely a lot. Like I said, that's actually the second most powerful option. The brand new hybrid system, which is offered, that's going to be making 430 horsepower, so really incredible stuff.
And 570 pound-feet of torque with that one. And there are a lot of different engine options that you can get. So there are 6 different engine options. Of course, I'm not going to talk about all of those, but you have a 3.3 liter V6, a 2.7 liter twin turbo V6, then a 5-liter V8 if you want that more traditional experience. So you're really going to have an entire gamut of engine choices.
Don't forget the diesel.
Oh yeah, and then the diesel. Yeah, I even missed that on our document here. There's too many of them, I can't even see them all.
But that actually is going to be today's slam dunk. Not to just go ahead and skip to it, but one thing I really noticed, because we're driving the XLT, and all of those engines are available on the XLT. Ford gives you basically all the engine options on all of the trim levels, and I really think that's a phenomenal thing because it gives you full customizability. You could be driving, for instance, the most basic XL trim level and then have the hybrid system on board with the most power. I think that's really cool.
That's 60 up a hill.
Uphill. This thing is so powerful.
And it really just delivers it in such a nonchalant manner. Like, it doesn't make a lot of noise, but it's just going fast.
It really is. This EcoBoost is quiet. Now, go ahead and talk about the transmission. This actually has a 10-speed automatic transmission. This is standard on all of the models, no matter which powertrain setup you choose. And, you know, like we said in the past with other applications this has been in, really good transmission. When you put your foot down, it shifts really rapidly. That just went from 10 to 5, by the way. 10 to 5, because you can see that right there. So really impressive how it can just jump around like that.
And also another thing that I'm really impressed by just cruising along, we're going 60 miles an hour, and even though this is an XLT, this is not like the Platinum or anything like that, the ride quality is so good. We're hitting bumps in the road and it's just really soaking them up. And then I will also get a sound level reading here going 55 miles an hour so it can compare to some of the other rivals. And we're sitting at 55.6 decibels, which that is actually really, really good, especially for a high-speed highway cruise like this. That is
very windy
really good.
well.
Oh yeah, and it's extremely windy. So we're really going to have a luxurious experience even in something like this XLT. And as far as your drivetrains are going to be concerned, you're going to have standard two-wheel drive and optional four-wheel drive. And as far as the fuel economies, you're actually going to have very good fuel economy. The one that we have right here, which is the 3.5 liter EcoBoost with four-wheel drive, is rated at 182320. Now, many of the F-150s don't really have ratings, so I can't go through and detail a lot of them. But I do have the hybrid, which comes in at 25 miles per gallon combined and has over 700 miles of fuel range. So that's certainly very impressive. Now, for today's airball, we've already mentioned the slam dunk. What we're going to say, this may not be something that a lot of you guys agree with, but I think a lot of people will say the same thing that we will. The exterior design could have been a little bit more different for this all-new model. For something that came out in 2015, although very handsome still, I really think it looks good. It definitely doesn't look as different as it could, and it would have been nice if maybe Ford had changed it a little bit more so people can actually recognize that this is a new product. Now, of course, as far as the pricing is concerned, the F-150 can be had at pretty much any price point you'd like. But as far as the XLT trim is concerned, it starts at $41,615. The 301A is $43,675, and the 302A starts at $47,345. And then this one with the destination charge of $1695, as well as pretty heavily optioned, comes in at $55,170 as equipped. So, like we were mentioning, you can get this at pretty much any price point you'd like, which I think is one of the beauties of this F-150 is that really anything you want, you can get it at any price level.
But overall, you know, we're really impressed by this new F-150. This XLT was the first thing to arrive in our area, and you know, we were wondering, will the XLT will it feel like really basic or lacking, because you know, of course, these can go up to like nearly $80,000. But I have to say, you know, this is a more affordable truck, and really, it's a great overall experience. You have just about everything you could want, and you actually have a lot of pieces from the really high-end models that come down to the XLT level.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap up this in-depth review of the all-new 2021 Ford F-150 XLT. We really appreciate you watching, and if you made it this far in the video, don't lie to me. I know you enjoyed, so be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and all it's going to do is give you notifications on all of our most recent content, and it's completely free, so be sure to do that. And we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.